So now we come to item 10A about our new township website and our manager, Mr. Vornlocker.
Again, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have our IT director here, Justin Hyman. This project started actually before I became township manager. It's been a labor of love, we'll say, Justin. It came out of the IT steering committee, which along with staff is Councilman Kramer and Councilwoman Francois. This process has been long, and it's, I know, been anticipated not only by council and members of the public, but also by myself and staff. And it went live, I don't know, when did I tell you last night? About 10 o'clock last night?
10:30.
10:30 last night was the text message that I said, go ahead and flip the switch. So it went live last night. I'm very proud of the efforts that were put in by all of our staff members throughout the township and the council members who were sat on this committee and worked through the bid process and going through a number of different iterations as we work through this. And I think that what the public will see is a very, very useful tool for them. And the township will have a much better platform to get information out to the residents and business owners here and visitors, too, to the town. So I'll let Justin take it over.
Thanks. So it's not often that the IT department gets to come out here and give a tool that residents can actually touch and put their hands on. So it's kind of exciting for us to have something that the residents can put their hands on and actually use, as opposed to our staff or our department. So here is our new township website. As the manager said, sometime late last night it started to show up on people's desktops. So what I'm going to do today is briefly, I don't want to be logged in while I do this, is kind of briefly give you a quick tour of it and show you some of the new features that our residents can use, the things that they can take advantage of. And really the goal here was twofold. One, to modernize the website, give it a new look and feel, something that was really representational of our community. The second thing that we wanted to do was really find a way to let residents use this to get the information they wanted quickly, easily, and the way that they wanted to do. That was really kind of our two, I think, main goals as we set out to do this. And I think hopefully we've done that. So I'm going to, like I said, walk you through the homepage and some of the more interesting features that our residents can use, and also show you two new aspects that we can use to reach our residents. Every page, this header will be the same. These are some very new features that I think residents will find useful. The first one is a staff director. We've never had a full listing of our entire staff online before. So now we have a very easily searchable database of everybody's name and phone number, and also a way to reach them via email. Job postings. This has been one of these areas that it used to get very stale very quickly. You would find job postings that we had already filled. Just communication with our previous webmaster wasn't always the best. Now we have something that we can control in-house, and that goes for this entire website, is controlled now by my department. But also something that corresponds with our business process. So when we know that a job posting comes down 2 weeks from the posting date or 2 months from the posting date or whatever it might be, the website will follow through with that automatically. So, and again, you'll see every one of our pages that have some sort of interactive component have some sort of filter. Now, right now, these are the only two jobs that we have available, so that's why those are the only two categories you see. But if there was, all of our departments had it, all of our departments would be listed. But the idea being that residents who only care about one area or one, maybe they only want to see the construction department jobs, they can do that. So it's really a tailored situation, very interactive and very purpose-driven. Municipal codes will bring you out to our code book that we've had for a while. I'm not going to spend some time there. This is another really new and kind of purpose-driven portion of the site. This is our FAQ site. And you'll see this throughout the website. Some departments have their own FAQs. This is the main township FAQ. They're fully integrated. One of the great things about this website is that our old website had a habit of, if we wanted to display something in 2 different places, or we wanted to provide it to 2 different departments, there was 2 different copies of that. And that meant that 2 different copies had to be updated, and that caused us a lot of problems down the road. Somebody would forget to take it down, somebody would forget to update it, so we'd have 2 copies of information that were out of date or incorrect. This website eliminates all that. So residents can come here for what our staff have identified as frequently asked questions. And I have asked every department head and every staff member to kind of think of these over the next couple months, so we keep to develop this database over time, so that the residents who call, if we get 5 calls a week on, is there a way to reduce my cable bill, residents can find a way to find that here without having to call and pick up the phone, and they can get the answer themselves. It's a modern FAQ, just like you would find on any modern website. One of the things that the manager and I think talked about a few times on the old website was one central location. How do you get here? Where are our buildings? What are the phone numbers for all of our departments? All those kinds of things. So we made sure that we developed a very simple FAQ. It integrates with Google Maps. We have a general contact form for the township, again, the municipal staff directory, and the township council directory, which links back to your council directory. So no matter who you're looking for, within reason, you should be able to find them from that contact page. And again, that was a major goal, was to try to make this easy for residents to find what they needed. The last feature was an accessibility feature. I'm going to try to use this. That was lacking in the old site. And this was really a necessity in a modern site, but we did not have it before, which is a translate feature. This translate feature, I'll show it to you briefly, integrates with Google Translate. And so we have the wealth of Google Translate languages. You can see there's quite a few up here. So regardless of what our residents speak now, they will be able to utilize our website for information. And that was something that was very important to me.
What language was that?
That is Filipino.
That's the Meadows down there.
Yeah, the graphic designers at Vision Internet, who's a company who we contracted with, I gave them a whole bunch of photos that we had around the township. For whatever reason, they felt the colors of the back porch of the Meadows, the Van Wickle house, served a purpose. So on a lot of our pages, you'll see that. They'll get cycled out over time, but for now, you'll see that as a overarching feature. Site search is Google Site Search. It's the leading technology in site search technologies. It will, however, I have one caution to everybody, and this hopefully those listening at home heed this warning as well. For about the next week or so, Google is going to take some time to reindex our site. So if you search on Google for Franklin Township Police Department, you may see a link to the old site, you may see a link to the new site. You can't fight Google on this one. So as they reindex our site, and we're doing everything we can to help that along, this will eventually work fantastic, but for the time being, it's a little buggy, and there's just not much we can do about that. We've greatly, you can see here, we have this new banner here, one of our historic sites, along with the seal of the township behind. This also doubles as a home button. But we wanted to reorganize the way that we provide the information to the residents. And what we had a goal here was to make sure that we give the information to the residents in the way that they want to find it. Not the way that we think they should find it, which is the way that we used to do it, but in any which way that they might want to find it. So the manager and our smaller committee, along with myself and members of my staff, put together these menus so that regardless of how you think the information should be there, it's there. About Franklin and what's new are kind of new areas. About Franklin had always been there on the old site. What's new is a lot of the new features. Township news I'll get to in a bit, as well as our new social media presence and the calendar. But these are some new features, and this is an ever-changing area. You see right now the Park and Recreation Needs Assessment is up there. If there's a new piece of new document or a new report or just a new hot topic that is of interest to our residents, it will find its way to that menu. Government is what you would expect. This is all of the council information. That was on the previous site. All of our departments are listed. And this is every single one of our departments. Previously, some departments didn't have a home on the web. I can tell you IT was never listed before, but we're a department and we should be listed. Tax dollars pay for us. So, I don't know why that was, but we corrected that. So, so every single department has a home now, and it's a very consistent. Let's go to the clerk's office. Since Anne Marie's here, I'll pick on her. But it's a very consistent look and feel. Menus on the left correspond to different areas. You can see Anne Marie has all of her licenses up there. Voter information, the different areas that our departments cover. You don't have to go searching through a 5-page long list of links to find this. If you're only looking for voter information, it will pop up and you can go there. And every department page behaves that same way with a sub-menu on the left and the main information in the center. Boards, commissions, and committees work the same way, and again, we have cleaned this up. A large portion of the effort that we spent with this over the last 2 months, really, was focused on content. Vision Internet, they're the professionals. We pay them to do the design and the organization. We really had to provide the content, and the content on the old site was, to be honest, lacking. It was out of date in some cases. It was just missing in other cases. So we spent time with each and every department head to sit down and scour through every bit of information that was on this website. So we know that it's up to date. We know that it's the right information. We know that it's what's supposed to be there. So we start from ground zero with the right information from this point forward. Government access is also there for those who want the schedule. And then residents and businesses and I want to, this is where we get into the area of how do I find the information? Am I a resident? Well, this is probably what pertains to you most. It's not everything, but it's the top pages that pertain to residents. If I move across to businesses, likewise, this is the top pages that pertain to businesses. I want to is another one of these menus that's going to evolve over time. As our staff comes to us and say, hey, 6 times a day I got a call for X, we'll make an I want to for it. And so, if you want to apply and register for a firearms permit, you may not know that the police department handles that, but this menu will help you figure that out. Okay. Another major way to get folks the information they want is via a push kind of technology. In other words, email is the way that we used to do this. And the way the email system used to work on the old site was no matter what it was, no matter whether you cared about it or not, you would get the update as we sent it out. So you might get an update about a township council agenda, an open space event, and recreation's pumpkin patch all in one big email. But you may not care about 2 of those 3 things. The new e-notification system is a tailor-driven system. Residents can subscribe to what they want. They can subscribe to everything if they like. They can just subscribe to recreation events if they like. And again, giving them the information that they want as they want it. The other major sections of the homepage, we have latest news and upcoming events. These are the most recent news items and the most recent or most near upcoming events, what's about to happen. And this is dynamically driven from the site. Nobody has to do this. As we enter the events, the site knows that the very next thing to happen was this council meeting. So that's on top. And tomorrow that'll move aside and make room for something else that's going to happen without myself or my staff having to do anything. So again, making sure that the most up-to-date information is there for visitors to the site. Same thing with news. This works exactly the same way. As we put out news stories, they will pop up here within the time frames that they are most recent. As I put a new one in, the oldest one will pop out.
Question? Yeah. Bill de Blasio became mayor in New York. He made a major point about plowing of the streets and having it available on his in New York City website as to what streets were being plowed and all that. I know the software exists. I don't know what it's going to cost or whatever, or GPS or whatever. But
it's something that we've talked about
Yeah.
internally and explored different costs. It's not an inexpensive thing.
Yeah.
I will tell you because it
And when I was on
requires
Public
equipment.
Works, that we had discussed it too.
Yeah, and it continues to be discussed. But certainly our site could support it to display the information properly, but that's a whole back-end application that I know the manager and the Public Works Director and my department have had ongoing conversations with, but because of the, there's an equipment cost and a whole myriad of costs that are associated with that. But the good news about this site is that it will integrate with applications outside of it to give the users one cohesive experience.
Great.
So. The last area on the homepage that I'm going to spend a little time on is in the Spotlight. In the Spotlight was designed to give residents one place to go for the most pressing information or the most current hot topic. Right now, we have 4 of them up there, the upcoming Martin Luther King breakfast, and a lot having to do with the website. We want to promote our new social media presence. The Township reorg meeting was here as well. And I'm going to click on this to show you ways in which we can leverage the new technologies to give people different kinds of experience. So this was just a brief article about the reorg that happened on the 1st, but we were also able to embed the video directly in there. It's YouTube, so any mobile device can play it. And again, this is about giving residents the information the way that they want to view it. People don't want to just read stories anymore. They want to see it. They want to experience it. And this new platform allows us to do that in a much more cohesive fashion. So. The last thing I want to talk about today is coinciding with this website. One of the areas that we knew we were behind a bit in was the area of social media. We know that residents want their information in one spot, whether it be Facebook or Twitter. There's a lot less behavior on the internet of, let me go find this piece of information from NJ.com, let me go find this piece of information from the Township, let me go find this piece of information of this silly video on YouTube. People don't do that anymore. They want it all in their Facebook feed or all in their Twitter feed or what have you. So we know that we have to, we needed to get involved with this, and coinciding with the launch of this website, we've also launched our official Township Facebook feed page and our official Township Twitter feed. These are directly integrated with everything that goes on the site. So there's one piece of information, but it gets blasted out amongst multiple channels, again, the way the residents want to get it. So if they want to get it via Twitter, they can do that. If they want to come to our Facebook site, our homepage to do that, they can do that. If they want to go to Facebook, they can do that. And again, it all drives things right back to the website. So this is the same article I just showed you regarding the reorg. Little tweet went out about it, and if I click that link, it brings me back to that same article. One piece of information that gets pushed out amongst multiple channels so that people can get the information, again, however they want and however they choose, but it allows us as Township staff and officials to reach more people in more ways. So those are the highlights. Obviously, this site can do a heck of a lot more. One other homepage feature, which the manager just pointed out to me I missed, were these homepage buttons. These are the areas that we felt as a committee were the most important and the most used areas. Now these can change over time as well, but we do have a few. The government payments, recreation and events brings you right to the Parks and Recreation page, which has, I have to say, had the most information probably on the old site and continues to have a wealth of information. I spent a lot of time with Alice and her staff refining this. Citizen Request Portal is our spatial data logic system. This is the same portal that it's always been, although it does have a major update coming in the next 2 months. Going down to the bottom, how are we doing corresponds with the manager's new customer service initiative. This is an online form that residents can fill out. It's right on our homepage, and they can go provide feedback about their interactions with the town. So whether it's in person, on the phone, email, or other, the date, who they interacted with, and then some ratings. This goes directly back to the township manager, and this is a part of his customer service initiative. But again, it's right there on the homepage so that anybody who interacts with us can provide that feedback at any time with one click. Resident and traffic advisories corresponds with our news program. There are none right now, so this is blank. But if we need to close a road or provide an advisory to residents about something in particular, it would show up here. And sign up for notifications is something that's, again, very important to us to make sure that people do that. This is the new e-notification system. So, and the buttons down the bottom correspond with our various social media sites, and we want people to take advantage of that if they choose to. Our Facebook feed, our Twitter feed, simple RSS, our YouTube channel, which has been up for about a year now, and the old standby of email. So that's it in a nutshell. Obviously, there's a whole lot going on here, and we're going to continue to develop this over the next few months, but we feel like this is a huge jump ahead from where we were, and we already see residents responding. Even today, it's been online. We've already gotten some positive feedback from residents. I've been tracking. The other thing that this does on the back end for us is it gives us a lot more insight into how people are using the site. We're using a lot more of analytic tools to see what people are doing with the website so that we can adjust on the fly. If we see that a lot of people are delving into something that we didn't think they were, we can bring that out to the forefront much quicker and much easier. And we've already seen a ton of use of the new site even today with just the 1 day of launch.
All I can say is wow.
Mayor?
Wow.
Yeah, Councilman Vasanella? Questions for,
Yeah, a couple of quick questions. Do you have the department, when they click on first looking for staff, is it alphabetical and by department they could find them?
Yep, so our staff directory, so if you know somebody's last name, you could click the letter of their last name. I'll pick on myself. So this is everybody with the last name of H. And if you know that they work in the IT department, I can filter just to IT department. And there happens to be two of us with the last name of H who work in the IT department, but that would filter that way. So yes, they can. Again, it's really about if you know just one piece of information. I just need to reach somebody in the construction office. I thought his name was Bill. You can pull up everybody who works in the construction office and see a full list of them and say,
Okay.
oh, this is the guy who was at my house last week.
No, that's excellent. That's excellent. And what about the individual committee, historical committee, environmental commission? I know a lot of those groups have their own websites. Some of them kind of use ours. It was like a hybrid. How do people, what do they do to find out about the different organizations?
To my knowledge, and I think the manager feels the same way, most any official committees of the township have a presence on the website and have had one. Whether it was kept up to date was another thing entirely, but that's part of that, bringing that in-house control into my department.
So how would they go on the new one to find?
So the boards and commissions and committees will come through my office, their chairs or their staff liaisons. If they have a staff liaison, the staff liaison can directly manipulate the site through the normal workflow process and approval process that is in place. If they don't have a staff liaison, some of our committees, the smaller committees that don't, they will filter their information to my office, just like they used to filter to our old webmaster, and my staff and I will handle those updates for them. So we are now the webmasters, just like Morris and Yard at City Connections used to be. But our staff in-house also have the ability to get directly involved into the process, so kind of distribute the work a bit and get things up there faster and quicker and easier.
And you don't have to go in a lot of detail, but is there any census info or budget info on here?
There is some general info under general information. There's also some info on the economic development site that's Tiffany Delaney's in the process of updating for us. But we do have some general census info.
The budget's on there, though, right?
Go to the finance page.
Oh yeah, the budget's on here. Yeah, that's on the finance page.
Excellent. So the only thing I'm going to mention, not to be picky, but I know when I go sometimes to look for a town and there's several in the state, I don't realize if I'm in, I don't know if it's just here, but if Somerset County could look a little bigger, hopefully people will be trying to find us from all over the state. I'm not trying to nitpick, that just jumped out at me.
Yeah.
I looked at it real quick this morning.
We
and
made sure that
I
was
thought
there.
maybe I didn't have a big enough screen, but I'm thinking if,
Yeah, we can look into that a little bit. We do have a lot of things on the back end in the search capabilities to make sure that when people look for Franklin Township, Somerset County, Township of Franklin, they find us.
oh, okay. I'm not asking you to redesign it. I just want people that are looking
Yeah.
for us to be able to find
That's
us.
a
And there's
graphic,
4
so
other
that's a little bit-
Franklin websites.
Yeah, a little bit
Really.
hard to do, but on the technical
Okay.
end, we've put a lot of safeguards in place.
It does, it's a beautiful site, though. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, Councilwoman Sherman.
Yes. Obviously, I'm thrilled. It's wonderful to see us in a modern website that represents the township in a way that we can all be proud of. And congratulations to your staff and everyone else who was part of this. I would like to suggest one thing. The township, the municipal complex is a confusing place to people who don't know it. Could we put a municipal map, the site map on there? We also need some signs one of these days, but if at least we had a map of where all the buildings were, I think it would be very useful.
Yeah, I can work with the GIS department and.
Actually,
get
we
it-
have one.
Oh, we have?
We have one, that's actually an excellent idea. And what we can do is put it in, and if you go to when you went to the Contact Us page, there we go.
Put it-
So, yeah, exactly. So we can do a link, a hyperlink in that area
Good.
that will bring you to a map, which is, we want people to be able to find us physically as well as our online
Yeah,
presence.
absolutely.
One thing, before we get into more questions, I did fail to mention, I want to mention, because it's really important to me and to all of us. The site is also fully mobile compliant. So from all mobile devices, regardless if you access it from a desktop, an iPad, or your cell phone, the website will resize itself and display. I'm going to kind of simulate this for you. That's about the size of an iPad, for lack of a better term, so you can see the site resizes. All the stuff is still there, it's just reorganized a bit to work better on an iPad. And this is about the size of a cell phone. And that's what it looks like on a cell phone. And just like most modern sites do, you can always go back to the full site. So I just wanted to throw that out there because that's another major change for us. The old site did not work on mobile devices at all.
Couple of thoughts, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, Councilman Prasad?
Yeah. No, congratulations. This is, we've come a long way, and we've been talking about it for a long time. We do have other things like an online paper now in town, and possibly, if people want to get township news, they could have a link to it or whatever. Just resources where they can reach out, and also resources to how to reach their elected, county, state, and federal. That's there? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
do have that, and it is all up to date.
All the contact information and everything. Okay, great.
Whatever was available, and
Right.
as we get more, I know Emery gets updates on that. We'll make sure it's up to date.
Fantastic. No, it's come a long way, and so congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman Francois?
I just have to say, this is phenomenal. As a member of the IT committee, I know I kept saying, are we there yet? Or is it ready yet? So it was definitely well worth the wait. We didn't spend a ton of money, so I think we were very frugal about our approach. And I just think that there was an incredible amount of thought content that went into this. The website is analytical, it's user-friendly, it's interactive. It uses all the latest technology, and it's beautiful. It's fast. I like how fast it is. It's really, really fast, and that means a lot in this day and age. So I don't have anything to nitpick. I think that we can always refine as we go. We can always come up with more information, and we've had some good ideas here today. But I'd like to thank you, Justin, because I know through your leadership of the IT department, we would not be where we are today if it wasn't for you and your staff. Thank you so much for your hard work.
Thank you. And I do have
Greatly
to
appreciate it.
thank my staff. They really, this was a huge undertaking for us, and the township staff as a whole kind of came together to do this. All the departments did, but my two staff members especially really put a lot of time in, so I do have to thank them as well.
So I'm just going to chime in here because, and I appreciate you recognizing that because his staff has worked tremendously hard on getting this done. In fact, Justin came in at about 6:30 and said, I need to go down to my office and send Krista home because she's in the office working on the website. So this has been something, and I can see it in the way he responds to things here, that the IT department is one of those departments that oftentimes only gets recognition internally because they generally work with our employees and they don't really get a chance to be out there in the public eye, and they don't have a whole lot of interaction with the public. And it's in this forum that they are able to do that. And it's in this forum that they have shined. And I'm very proud of them all. So they have put in a tremendous effort.
Incredible. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Councilman Chase.
Well, as I emailed you earlier, it's lovely. I'm sure I will spend days exploring it to figure out all of the things that you've just hit the high spots of all of the functions. I did see a complaint from Tom Gale of the Historic Preservation Advisory Commission that he wasn't able to access old minutes. Are we going to be able to access old minutes of the various commissions?
So depending on, let's go look at historic so I can give you an educated answer. Depending on what was on the old website, we did move over some. I will tell you that from a site management standpoint, having 10, 12 years worth of old committee agendas on there is not really a great idea. And that's not to be less transparent or open about anything, but when somebody sees stuff from 2003 on there, they tend to think, you don't keep your site up to date. This isn't a new site. This isn't up to date. So we are keeping the current year plus 2 years, and we can certainly extend that back farther. But for the time being, to get the new site up and running and to get it to where it needed to be, that was the goal that we set, was 2 years plus the current year. So historics are up here.
I would think that that's all that most people would require.
Yeah, and we consulted with Amory on that to kind of see what Oprah request comes through her office, so that we made sure we weren't
Just things
putting more work on the clerk's office as well. So
Okay. Anything else?
Yes,
Councilman Kramer?
just minor thing. The, on the notifications page, I didn't see Advisory Board of Health. And then, of course, thank you. I know how I've been somewhat involved, and I know how hard you've worked, and it's been like your own child. But of course, so what have you done for me tomorrow? And you know the thing that I've been wanting, and I know you're going to work on it now, is live streaming of meetings, which you have cleverly figured out, you think, how to do it for nothing. So, but we needed this site to be able to do it. So hopefully that will come out soon. And that was, I know you were going to work out it. That was more letting the public know that that's coming.
yeah, it definitely is coming. So.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate the effort
Yeah.
and showing us here too. Excellent.
Thank
excellent.
you.
Thank you all.
Very nice.